Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina,
And I'm Kevin.
and it is a welcome back because we've
It
been
has been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
it's been a while since we've been here. But we're back, and there was Cars on Track, and it was Zandvoort, Dutch
It
Grand Prix.
is the last Zandvoort for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, yeah. Which I mean, I know I posted on our social media about a bit of a spoiler about somebody crashing in their last in the last home Grand Prix. That person is still continuing, but the track or the Grand Prix is not for right now.
Yes.
So sorry for any confusion. And we'll get back to more of who that person might be if you haven't figured it out already. Nick DeVries, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
Came back for one.
for one race. And yeah, but we're here. And I don't even remember what we do.
We start off by saying go check us out on all our socials and wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, the Amazon one that nobody listens to. Or check us out on socials, Instagram, X, TikTok. I believe that's it, right? Because we don't even have anything on Facebook. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, comment, thumbs up, all those things.
Yeah, to hear this disaster.
Yes. Yes. It's always good
but
to have a
anyways.
crash in the start of the podcast.
Yeah. Well, coming off of it was the summer break for the drivers. It was supposed to be silly season. It was definitely a break, but no silly season up until the week of this race.
I
would
don't
say.
think it was really silly.
No.
Even it was
No.
just
It was kind of what we expected a
yeah.
lot, but it was just kind of, we hear nothing, and then all of a sudden it was just like news.
So this is
All
where I want to
expected,
get into
but-
like the specifics of what we know teams and everything. You're not allowed to operate. Does that include contract signings? Because you were still doing some sort of operation. Does it completely hands off, or is it just hands off the technical, mechanical aspects of the car and like design and all that stuff?
Yeah, no building.
Or does like your CEO and team principal have to take off? And there's no business, because we didn't hear anything until this week, which they were officially back for this week.
Yeah. Which was, it is odd. I would like to know if anybody knows.
Yeah, that's one just randomly specific thing that I thought of. But
Yeah.
but either
well,
way, so we're talking about it. But the news is,
Yeah. I think the first we heard was Williams, right?
I heard Carlos first. Did you hear Albon
Okay.
first?
I don't.
Either way,
Yeah.
Williams re-signs their drivers Alex re-signs for 2027. So I'm assuming it's just a 1 year, or that was his plus one. I believe it's just a 1 year. Carlos signs a multi-year contract with Williams. No details on that yet. Usually details come out 6 months, a year, or whatever. You get a little more specifics after that. And Max signs a larger extension than most of us were expecting him to sign. A 4 year, reportedly worth 460 million euros. Did I say 460 before? 460 million euros. Yes, 460. So it's reported that he's going to earn $92 million, euros, on his contract, with the possibility of that being pushed to 115 million euros with bonuses for the next 4 years.
I mean, I think it's funny that we didn't even think he was going to be re-signing with Red Bull at all. And then he's like, no, I'm signing for 4 more years.
I'll take $500 million for sure.
It was also, I mean, beginning during the week. If he does fulfill the 4 years, which again, contracts in Formula One seem to be made with pencil because things change all the time in these contracts. Um, if he does stay, he will be the longest driver constructor pairing ever. If he
Really?
completes till 2030.
He has to complete all
Yeah.
4 years
Yeah. He will be the longest standing. I think Lewis would have been,
with Mercedes.
yeah, I think Lewis would, if he had stayed, he would have been the longest. But
So
yeah,
he just
so
wants to
Max,
break another one of Lewis's records.
I guess he's
Is
just going
that
to
is
be
this
like, you
why it was
know what?
four and not
Just gonna,
3 or 2?
yeah,
Yeah.
just piss Lewis off. I think currently Lewis will hold the record for the longest. Oh my God, what's it called now? Engine, engine supplier.
Okay.
Because when he was with McLaren, I think they were
It
still
was
a
were they
Mercedes
Mercedes as well?
engine. So yeah,
Okay.
Lewis will hold that
That's
because we
such
know
a
Red Bull.
random stat. Now we're getting into the realm of baseball
Yeah,
stats. Like what happens when a guy comes
yeah,
up to the plate with a runner on third and a runner on second and a
yeah,
left-handed pitcher with the wind going out to the northwest at 3 kilometers an
exactly.
hour. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
we're
the
just making up.
stupidest stats. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
just
let's
making up
just
stats.
let's find things to talk about because we have nothing left to
Yeah,
talk about.
yeah, pretty
Um,
much. But yeah,
yeah, those are contract signings. We also had some weird stuff going on throughout the paddock because we had an injury that only showed up at the beginning of the week.
yeah,
Was it? Or was it over the weekend? Oh, last weekend. The weekend prior.
yeah,
Or earlier the weekend. Isaac Hadjar out with an injury, a wrist injury, which may or may not have been due to boxing. All the reports came from that he was doing boxing. Hadjar said it was not.
yeah. Which
Which okay.
I'm I'm wondering if like there's maybe something in his like insurance that he
Yes,
shouldn't
probably.
be like, no, no,
He
no, we
should
can't
not
say
be
it was
engaging
boxing.
in other activities
Yeah, yeah,
where, he's not Max. He doesn't get all that leeway that everybody else does.
yeah.
So maybe you just take it down on a sport which is prone to injury. Actually, it's designed to injure.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a weird. I mean, we've obviously seen wrist injuries.
Yeah. But
Daniel
usually when they're
Ricciardo
driving.
crash. Yeah, when they
Yeah.
crash. I mean, Lance Stroll a couple years ago, he fell off of his bike, broke both of his
Yes.
wrists at the beginning of
Yes.
the season.
So did
So yeah,
Toto.
yeah, I mean, that's normal. But yeah, I'd be pretty pissed if I broke my or injured my wrist for my driving job while boxing. But
I would be pretty pissed
also,
if I was Red Bull and my driver is now out because he
yeah,
was. I get it, stay physically fit, but
yeah,
maybe take it down to 95%.
yeah. Let's not do.
Yeah.
Let's not use our hands for sport when we need them for driving.
Well, then you can only play soccer.
Yeah, who's that?
Either way, Liam Lawson gets promoted into the Red Bull for the weekend, or well, for the
Yes,
foreseeable future
he's
until we're
back.
told
Yeah,
otherwise. Yeah,
yeah,
until Red Bull calls us and lets us know. And Yuki Tsunoda back in the RBs, the
yeah,
Racing Bulls, whatever they are, in Liam Lawson's place.
yeah.
What
So, yeah,
they really must not have liked Yuki because there's a lot of movements here.
yeah,
Like you're moving everybody up when you could have just put a driver in the car.
yeah. To call up Liam when they could have. I mean, they could have just called Yuki because he's still a
Yeah,
Red Bull. He's a Red
reserve
Bull,
driver.
but
Well, he is in the
yeah,
family.
yeah. So, but maybe they were like, you know what, Liam, does that kind of say to Hajar, like your position, like we could always go back to Liam? I don't know.
No,
Like,
I don't think
I don't
so.
know what the choice was there or decision making, but Liam got called up. I'm sure he was very happy with it,
Yeah,
and he did well. I
yeah, decent.
he did well. Um, yeah, so that was kind of the beginning of the week. Just a lot of, and I don't know if this is not kind of silly season. I don't know if you heard this, and I haven't seen much of it after. Uh, Mark Webber, who is Oscar's
Manager.
manager, former Red Bull
Driver.
driver, he and Oscar no longer follow each other on Instagram, and he unfollowed McLaren. Haven't heard anything else about it, but just kind of what's going on there. Maybe
I did
some
not
sort
see
of
that.
maybe some sort of signing that he doesn't agree with.
I hate.
Um,
I do hate the fact. My apologies.
it's okay.
Phone ringing. Um, I do hate the fact that we now speculate news on who's following
Based
who.
on who is following. Yeah,
It's the most ridiculous, and I've got other choice words for it, but I'm not going to say it.
yeah.
Um,
I just thought it was
I
funny. I
don't
just
like
thought it was
irresponsible
interesting.
reporting. I hate just fake bullshit,
Yeah,
trendy reporting.
yeah. Which is that is super trendy reporting
Yes,
of
yes.
like, and it could mean nothing. Like it literally could mean that
Could
like
mean absolutely
Mark
nothing.
Webber deactivated his Instagram.
Yeah.
But anyways, just thought I would throw that little silly season in there. But anyways, week continues. We go into the press conferences, which there was nothing super interesting,
Nope.
I thought, in those. It was a sprint weekend, so
One
right back
thing
into a
I
lot of racing.
one thing I did find interesting from so this was reported a couple days ago, so but I think it came from interviews throughout the weekend, not just on obviously was just during the race. Stefano Domenicali had some interesting comments about. Well, okay, let me just read it to you. Okay, his comment.
I haven't heard this.
No, you haven't. So there are diehard motorsport fans who talk about clipping during a Formula One weekend. So it's talking about the new regulations and all the clipping of the battery and then loss of power and all that stuff. But there will also be as many who think of a clip as something you put in your hair. That's the quote.
Okay.
So he's essentially saying
Okay.
people, or not Red Bull, racing fans now do not care about the clipping and the battery thing. He's basically calling them stupid.
That we don't know the difference
And
between a clip
fast
and a
racing,
clip.
and just fast racing because they didn't come from the era where people were going full out. So now
Right.
this is just racing to them. When I haven't seen even casual fans can tell the difference.
Yeah. Like,
So you're just calling us a bunch of fucking morons,
yeah,
most people, and
essentially.
then every new fan is a moron, and every old fan should shut the fuck up. Is basically what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it really does come off as everybody shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like, I don't care what anybody has to say. Just stop talking.
and it's just complete avoidance of the question
Yeah.
around regulations.
Yeah. Why put that on everybody else? Like that was a direct question to you. I'm assuming it was some sort of interview
Yeah, with the Telegraph.
pundit. Yeah. So, if that was a direct question of you of people being having or critiquing the racing or whatever, answer that. You can start it with like, I don't think everybody totally understands, but this is why we
Or
did
even
it,
if they,
or this is whatever. Like it's not going anywhere. Deal with it. Like,
I would have much rather them say that new F1 fans don't care about the clipping and the battery. That would have made more
yeah,
sense than
yeah.
saying, they probably just think a clip is something you put in your hair.
Coming from the man that also doesn't have
Has
hair.
no hair.
Not you,
Rarely. I mean,
Domenicali.
yeah.
But yeah, weird.
It
Weird
just,
comments to make.
it just
Some
kind of,
people
yeah.
just need to not talk.
I think he loves himself too much.
True. True. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So that's another
Yeah.
thing that just kind of Irked me to start the weekend.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to be irked, you could have just watched the sprint.
I did
We
not.
can just go right into the
Let's
sprint.
let's do it. I did not.
Um, Again,
I
coming off of a
watched.
break, going right into a sprint was crazy work. But I mean, probably makes them get get right back into it a little bit faster than like free practice. Free practice, it gets
Yeah,
everything going again. Um, but yeah, free practice. I don't think there was anything really that was crazy with that. Um, and then we had sprint qualifying, which again, no real
everything kind
surprises.
of the same. I know we had some
Yeah.
upgrades from to the McLarens to the Audis, but otherwise everything kind of business as usual, basically.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Alpine also, and it was only to Gasly's car. Could be mixing up teams.
Maybe
I
you
think. I
could be
think it
right.
was, yeah, I think it was Alpine as well. But again, still nothing. It didn't drastically change anything with qualifying.
No,
And we had Russell on pole, if I
Russell
remember
on
correctly.
pole. Yep, Norris behind him. Leclerc splitting the McLarens. Oscar obviously behind Leclerc. Kimi, Max, Lewis, then Pierre, and Bortoletto and Lindblad 9 and 10.
Yeah, I mean, Kimmy being what, fifth? What is?
Yes.
I think that's maybe the only like shocker. But again,
Lewis running in seventh kind of
yeah,
shocked me a little bit too, but
yeah,
didn't have a
yeah.
stellar weekend.
Yeah. And then we go over to the sprint race, which I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch and was confused as to why I woke up to watch it because it was extremely boring. You had mentioned to me that you hadn't watched it and you were starting to
I was
watch
watching the
it.
replay and I watched the first two laps, which were decent. The first two laps
Yeah.
were okay.
Yeah.
Just a a good couple starting
Yeah.
laps,
Yeah.
and then I had things to do, and you
Yeah.
told me it was boring,
I
and
definitely did. Said you
did
didn't need
not
to
watch
finish.
the rest of the weekend. No,
Yeah.
several people told me it was absolutely worthless, so
Yeah.
just decided
Yeah.
forget it. So
No point.
I think we're settling into a spot now where we get the idea of the sprints, and the first couple of years, yes, people were really going all outs for sprints.
Yeah.
And then when you get closer to, we see a couple people going more all out, like somebody like George who's chasing
Yeah.
Kimmy.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they've got quality 3 hours later, and nobody's
Yeah.
going to risk 25 points versus 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to go all out like you said. You have someone like I'm sure they all want to win. Does a sprint mean
of course,
anything to them? No, but a
no,
win does. A win is a win, and it gives you some points, and it's good. But again, when you have somebody like George who is not terribly far behind Kimmy in the championship, even somebody like Lewis is probably going to take it a little bit more seriously because if you can inch out some of these points, you're obviously going to.
yeah,
But
but
everybody else isn't going to be.
even if I'm Kimmy, and we'll use the Kimmy and George example, or maybe even Lando coming up, or if I can put my car pretty easily just from the pace it's got and not take any risks into, let's he finished fourth.
Yeah,
So between him and George, there's a 3 point difference. You know what? I'd rather take my chances and finish fourth, give you those extra 3 points on me, and do but save my effort for qualifying, save my effort for the race,
yeah,
for where it actually means something. And if I crash in the race or get damaged in the race, I'm not worried about ruining the 3 hours after that. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, okay, you're probably out, but still.
yeah.
But that's where
No,
I want to put
I
my
know what you
effort.
mean.
That's the
Yeah,
risk isn't there for the reward when it comes to a sprint.
yeah. I mean, and I think the person that puts the biggest risk would be George, but the Mercedes are just so fast that he didn't really. Nobody really fought him. I mean, he kind of just led the race and or the sprint, and that was it. But he would need that. And it was a good sprint quali for him. It was a good sprint race for him. Again, spoiler, he won.
Yeah.
And even qualifying for the actual race was a good weekend for George Russell until we
Mhm.
actually get into the race. But it was a good start to his weekend, definitely. And
Yeah.
I mean, they said it a few times that he had really gotten in his head at the beginning of the season, seeing Kimmy kind of um, get away with the championship, in his car not doing what it should be doing or
Yeah.
whatever you want to say. Uh, the break was good, and then coming back, it was a good motivational boost for him, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah. But
but yeah, the sprint was boring.
yeah. Yeah. We'll go off.
Needless to say.
I
Needless
just
to
don't.
say.
I just don't, and I think that contributes to it. I just don't think that it's in there. They're there because they have to be there, not because they want to be there and race. And so it's
Yeah.
there to make more money, but really, no. Everybody's going to stop watching the sprints if they continue on this trend of
Yeah.
nobody cares, nobody's taking a chance. We'll just let it fall where it may because there's only 8 points up for grabs, at the most,
Yeah.
and only 8 spots with 22 cars on there. So what am I? What am I? Why am I taking this risk? It doesn't make any sense. Mathematically, statistically, you want to go with all these weird statistics. It doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all. And like you said, especially if it's going to be this boring. Thankfully, kind of not thankfully, this year we only have one more. We only have one more sprint
Yeah.
coming. We have already done five, which we were looking at that before we jumped on. Yeah, we got one more in
Eve-
Singapore.
Even for the midfield teams, because you only give out 8 points to the top eight, and you know the 5 or 6 are going to be the top team, I get every point counts for those midfield teams and they're worth millions
Yeah,
of dollars, but it's still probably not going to be worth it if you ruin yourself and then you're
yeah,
out of the race.
yeah. And it's something bad enough that you can't fix
Not for
properly.
1 or 2 points
Yeah,
to get in that
exactly.
seventh or eighth.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I mean, the end of the sprint on their cool down lap, it did start to rain, which it had started to rain right before the sprint, or like maybe half an hour before the sprint, and then it started to rain as they were on their cool down lap. It took a lot longer for everybody to get back to the pits because they had to drive slowly in the rain.
Yeah.
So maybe the rain would have made it interesting, but again, are people really going to come in on lap 22 of 24 to get into, like, you're just going to lose track position
No,
at
you're
that
just
point.
going to go as
So,
slow as possible and you're just
and hope.
hope for the
Yeah.
best. As long as it's not a
Yeah.
massive downpour, but then
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, then later on in the day, so George wins that. Later on in the day, over to the race qualifying. Um, yeah, this is where we start to see some interesting stuff happen because Alonso makes it out of Q1
Hmm. Nope.
and we lose both Haas, right? Is that
Nope.
remember correctly?
I
In
did
the
not
race
watch
call?
qualifying again. I was busy.
Oh,
But it's showing here that Alonso did not get out of Q1.
oh, why did I think he did?
I don't know.
No, he didn't because he started in 18th. I
Hmm.
remember that now. But we did lose both Haas, didn't we? Or am I making that up too?
Nope. Ocon got into Q2.
Okay, yeah, making it all up.
In the race, we lose both Haas. Spoiler alert.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking then. So yeah, you've got it there.
We seemingly have
Yeah.
everybody in through all of it. We don't have any kind of crashes as far as I can see, but basically you have your two, nope, sorry, yes, your two Cadillac, Behrman out, your Aston Martins in 18th and 19th, and Carlos Sainz just misses out. Alex Albon just kicks him out. I did watch, sorry, Q1. I did not watch
Yes.
the rest of the qualifiers. I skimmed through it. Albon just makes it in. So into Q2. Again, Q2, I think the
Usual.
only real thing that I can, yeah, no, we have Bortoletto that actually makes it into Q3,
Yes.
and we're used to seeing at least one Racing Bull make it into Q3 as well, and that one this week was Arvid Lindblad. But otherwise, we have Albon, Ocon, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Sonoda, and Gasly out in Q2, which kudos to Sonoda for being 12th, first time in the 2026 car, only getting one practice session. I know he's been on the simulator, but he hasn't actually driven a 2026
No.
car. So good on him for kind of figuring that out,
Yeah.
and showing well enough, I think.
I mean, he kept the car where it's kind of been. So
Yeah,
it's not like he qualified P17 or anything like that and
no,
made them look bad. He kind of kept the car where,
no, we've always had a racing bull in that 9 to 13 kind of
yeah,
space. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah,
And then, yeah,
I thought he looked good this weekend.
yeah. I mean, again, for stepping into that car for the first time all year, keeping it on track and not being a problem, it's a win. You didn't cost them any
A,
money.
a win is a win.
Yeah, win is a win.
Yeah.
Not worth any points.
Yeah.
And then from in Q3 we have Lindblad in 10th, Bortoletto in ninth. Like I said, Lawson and Verstappen, 7 and 8, and not separated by very much, 1/10 of a second. So Max was struggling a lot. Liam had a great showing for his first time in the Red Bull in 2 years. Almost 2 years, year
Year.
and a half,
Yeah.
whatever it's been. And anyways, Leclerc in sixth, Hamilton in fifth, Oscar in fourth, Antonelli, Russell third and second, and Lando Norris taking pole position by a whole 10th of a second. So the upgrade's doing something there.
Yeah.
Because Piastri was only a couple hundredths off of Antonelli and George, almost putting himself into second.
And see, I thought when I saw Oscar running this weekend on all the laps that he did, I thought his car looked fast. Again, you didn't really watch much of it, but his car looked good, and I was like, "Oh, okay, Oscar's going to be putting up some fighting laps," and he did. But again, everybody was just a tenth here, a tenth here. Everybody's just a little bit faster, and
Yeah.
but like I think we
Well,
said, the top
between
five
Norris
is
and between Norris and Piastri, it's a tenth and a half.
yeah,
So
like
it's not it wasn't there wasn't a lot
yeah, not a lot. Um, then that's it for yeah,
for quality.
that's it for quali. Going over to the race, there was a downpour in the morning prior to the race, which left the track quite wet in spots. There was a lot of spots that were drying, but it was the spots that were drying were the spots that are not the racing line. Again, in some parts of the track.
Yeah.
This is a track that has high banking, which they have to drive up in the banking. So that was the spot that was just not driving, or like the low points of the track would be the racing line as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't wet enough to put on an inter or even the wets, which that would be stupid when it's no longer raining. But I think it was more our slicks, which is a softs, and even an option. And I think only two people started on slicks. Could be, or maybe that was in the sprint.
No, you might be right. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. But there was, I mean, everybody kind of was like, no, this is not an option. They were talking about it before. Nico Rosberg was talking about it, which they, go back to the Nico Rosberg curse. He did take a picture with Max Verstappen before the race. And in his pre-race interviews, he was talking about it's okay if the ground is wet. Max is great in the wet weather.
This man needs to stop.
Yeah, he is great in the wet weather. He knows how to handle. And he actually said he is the best driver currently on track in rain or in the rain. Granted, it wasn't raining; it had already rained,
But it was wet.
but it was wet. And we get going with the race. Lando was in first. He doesn't have a great start, or does he? Can't
He,
remember.
oh my goodness, why can't I think of it? Because then there was also the restart.
Yeah, there was a couple restarts.
Oh,
Uh,
no, I don't think he does actually have. No, he does not. You're correct because this is where Kimi Antonelli pulls right ahead,
yeah,
right away and gets him in corner two,
yeah, yeah. It
something like
was a bit
that.
of a messy. It was a messy start for a lot of people because
Yes, somebody has a slow start. Oh my goodness, it's up at the front. Was it Piastri?
I think it was George. George
George, yes, it was. Yeah, it was
initially.
George. He had a terrible start.
Yeah, George initially, and then Piastri went to go around George, but then George got going. Charles kind of went to go in the middle, pushed Lewis wide. Max
Pushes
on
Max
opening,
off into the grass. Yeah,
but like the opening closed because Lewis had to move over because Charles put like
yeah,
just a complete mess. And yeah, Max's tires did touch the grass, but he was fine at
yeah.
that point. A couple of people I think touched, but no real damage
Small touches.
with
No,
any
no.
yeah with
They're
anybody.
more wheel to wheel.
Yeah. Um, and then we get to lap two. Is it even lap two?
Nope, it is lap zero.
Yeah.
It is the final corner. Just before, I believe
Yeah.
it was the final corner coming onto the main straight, where Max has the inside line, and then as we've seen so many times, when you get on that white paint, when it's wet, he just completely loses it. Luckily, takes out nobody, but goes into the
Yeah.
wall on the opposite side and comes back and kind of still faces his car into the pit lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And loses his back tire completely. That thing went on its own little adventure. Yeah,
Yeah. It was a bad crash. Like
it was bad. Yeah,
it was a hard enough one.
destroyed car. Yeah,
Absolutely destroyed. I mean, very quickly he does say, I'm okay, which is good. Obviously, you
and
never
I'm
want
sorry.
somebody to be injured. Yeah, anybody to be injured. They do show the replay. It caused the red flag. Quite a long red flag.
Well, because there was also another damage at the same time.
Yeah.
Another spin. Excuse me,
Another spin, which is
Bortoletto.
Bortoletto, who takes a higher line than Max, but still the same kind of thing happens.
Same
And
thing.
he spins
Although he
out.
does,
He doesn't hit a
yeah,
wall.
he doesn't hit a wall. He's stuck in the middle. And I don't know if you saw the replays. I'm sure you did because you were watching
Yes.
it. Almost gets T-boned by his teammate because his teammate can't see anything. He just sees smoke in the air, tire smoke, from the flat spotting and the skidding, and it's like a music video where you walk out through the through through the smoke, and all of a
The
sudden there
smoke.
it is. Yeah, and then there's Bortoletto. Just narrowly misses him by the smallest of margins.
Yeah. That could have been a really, really bad accident.
Yeah.
And they kind of kept making fun of, Hulkenberg being 39 and still
Hey,
having those reflexes. But I mean,
it's a thing. There's a lot of athletes that age out because they don't have the same kind of reaction times as
yeah,
some of these younger guys coming in.
yeah. I
That's,
mean,
that that guy's a freak of nature.
yeah, because he said like he would have T-boned him, and
Oh
that
yeah,
could have been
catastrophic.
horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been really bad if he T-boned him. It's not like he would have hit his rear. It would have been like
straight into
right
the side.
on. Yeah. So he spins, but he keeps going.
He does. Yeah.
But I think how when they called the red flag, people had kind of already started going around again, so they had to bring everybody around. Um, and there was a couple infringements, yellow flag infringements.
Yep.
But it was
Bortoletto
kind of
wasn't
messy.
stopped until lap 11. I thought he came in for new tires, but he did not. Okay.
Well, he came in because of the red flag.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he was already there for
Yeah.
the red flag. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I guess they were able to do whatever they needed to fix on his car. Um, but yeah, kind of a messy start. Max is out, and out of what would be, we're assuming if he's only going to be racing until 2030, Zandvoort is not back before 2030 unless there's some crazy thing that
They
happens.
keep announcing stuff, so who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of sucks. His last home race and doesn't make it to lap one,
Nope.
lap zero. Yeah. And then it's a very long red flag
It
because,
is. There's a lot of debris. They got to fix the
yeah,
barriers. It's a lot to fix.
yeah,
That they had to put the vehicle, the car on a truck and tow that away because it wasn't moving. It was stuck
yeah,
on the ground.
yeah. Um, and then we get going again, which is a kind of,
We
we get
go
going again. We go for a
kind of,
formation
yeah.
lap
Yep. Back to a
uh,
standing start.
to a standing start. And on that formation lap, there's a couple things that actually happen. Half the grid goes out, and for some reason, the last four cars do not leave the pit lane. We then find out they don't leave the pit lane because there was some malfunction that showed them now another red flag. So they were left in the pit lane, and then all of a sudden the malfunction fixed, and then they were able to leave. Then we hear that the what would have been the fifth car that would have stayed is under investigation because they was an infringement against the red flag or the red light or whatever. And it's like, well, that shouldn't have been there anyways. So
Yeah.
why would you give him a penalty? That went nowhere. But also during all of this mess of this red flag in the pit lane, Bierman pulls over on the side of during the formation lap, and his car actually, he didn't pull over, his car turned off. He lost
Yeah.
all power, and just his car turned off. So Lando is waiting at, he's essentially waiting for, lights to go on and off again. And they're like, yeah, no, it's aborted start,
Another formation
and
lap.
then another formation lap. Um, yeah, which is
Yeah,
just
I mean
messy.
that's yeah, it is, but that is the best possible scenario for Lando. I mean, he was overtaken.
100%.
There was no way he was going to catch Antonelli. Antonelli didn't even get to the line again before this crash happens.
Yeah.
I don't believe he did, or he just crossed it. Either way, we hadn't completed a lap, and so we have to restart in the original order. So I mean, I don't think Lando cares. I think he's just happy that he gets to retry this again.
Yeah. And I mean, he has a better start,
Yeah,
but
he got
he has to battle Antonelli quicker than he did the first time. And you see him just cut across right away and just like essentially block him. And he's like, no.
yeah.
Um,
I saw this before.
and then, yeah, I mean, the race, it was a little bit, it was actually not a little bit, it was more exciting than the sprint, I would say. And we got a lot of midfield, really good
Yes,
midfield
I
racing.
think that was the best part
Yeah.
because when we
Yeah.
see a lot of the fighting at the front, not even necessarily fighting, we kind of see a lot of the changes in the front. A lot of it happened in the pit lane. A lot of it happened on slow starts, people
Yeah.
coming back out into traffic, having to refight or fight their own teammates
Yeah.
because they had such a slow start and they weren't expecting to be where they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Other than that, the best fighting was in the like actual on track fighting was in the midfield for those last, places 7 or 8 to 10.
Yeah. No, and it was great. I mean, Gasly holding up. Um, and then kind of quietly, not so quietly, we see Alonso gets himself into the top 10, who, like I said, started in P18.
Didn't even notice until they said it on the broadcast.
I had no
And
idea.
he was in ninth.
And like, which means, yes, some of the stuff happened in the pit lane or getting past people happened in the pit lanes and stuff, but he would have still had to get past some people, which he did. And kind of then just stuck there. I mean,
Coasted a bit, yeah.
yeah, he was just there um, until the end of the race. And
Yeah.
he kept those 2 points, 3 points,
Two.
2 points for Aston Martin,
Yeah,
which
it
good on
became
them.
like it became a thing where you're not even watching George and Kibby fight for podium anymore. You're watching to make
Yeah.
sure that Alonso isn't going to get caught by Gasly or
Yeah.
he was getting closer to Hulk.
Yeah. It was actually interesting because again, the Aston Martins have barely been able to finish a race.
Yeah.
And when they do, it is, a P16 because everybody else is out, or it's a P18. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, Stroll was out, which we didn't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was good racing from the midfield. We did get some good racing. I wouldn't even say it was good racing. We had some
Uh,
team stuff that was a little. I would say it was team racing because we had a situation of McLaren's of is Piastri going to back up and help out Lando? Is George going to move over to let Kimi through because he's a faster car? Is Charles going to let Lewis by because Lewis is on a tire deficit?
yeah.
Like there was a lot of that. There wasn't too much of other team fighting, I would say.
No, it was all between. I mean, the closest fighting that I can remember is the Kimmy George,
Yeah.
because Kimmy's behind and George does not want to move over. He still
No.
thinks, and you're going to compromise George. He's on older
Yeah.
tires. He's got two other people behind him. He's not
Yeah.
getting help from his teammate. His teammate's going to leave him behind.
Yeah.
And luckily, we get another VSC, which slows down Lewis, Charles, Lewis. Can't remember which one it was at that
Lewis.
point. It was Charles at that point, wasn't it?
It might have
I
been.
can't
No,
remember.
I think at that point it was Lewis. But
Maybe it was
anyways.
Lewis. Either way, regardless, the Ferrari that's behind him,
Yeah.
it was going to catch him. I think if he didn't get that VSC in the third last lap, it was lap 70,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was close to the
Yeah.
end. I mean, when George was arguing it, not as difficult as he usually does. And I found he did move over
He did.
pretty pretty easy. I mean,
I think.
he did, and
Yeah.
he did say, is he going to fight Lando? Can he catch and fight Lando? And the team said, yeah. And so he was like, okay. And he moved over, which I thought was the respectful thing to do. And George has had a lot of moments like that where he has been asked to whatever, and he fights it. He fights it tooth and nail.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And I even messaged you and said, good on you, George. Like,
Well,
you
he did
put
it
out your
respectfully too.
concern.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it was more so like, show me why, tell me why,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we'll talk about it after. We'll just.
Yeah. He put out his concern. I'm going to be at risk. He actually does say, we're going to lose a double podium if we do this.
Yeah.
And the team
Which
says,
he wasn't wrong.
it wasn't wrong. And the team says, don't worry. Like, he's going to go. And he said, okay. Moved over, let Kimmy through. Kimmy cuts zero time out of what he, like, he
Nothing.
does not get
Absolutely nothing.
even closer. And even like you said, with the VSC that comes, that saves George, saves George's,
It
or
does save
saves
George.
Mercedes double podium. But even with that, that didn't even help Kimmy get any closer either, which I thought was really weird. It slowed Lewis down. But it really didn't help Kimmy get any closer. So,
Well, no, and they finish, I mean, right here, just Kimmy finishes 11 and a half seconds behind Lando, doesn't get anywhere near. George is 15, almost 16 seconds behind Lando, and Lewis is 16 and a half seconds behind Lando. So, I mean, you really just, instead of working as a team, because you're not going to catch them, it's 3 laps, 4 laps, maybe it was 5 laps left at that point, because then you had to get to the VSC. But you're not going to catch them. There's not enough time to make up the 14 seconds, whatever it was at that point, or 13.
yeah.
So why not fight the Ferraris as a team
Push,
and
like, let George
guarantee
go.
the podium? Yeah.
Yeah. Let George go. Let Kimmy, who's got the better tires, back up the Ferraris. And then when the time,
And then you
You
got
could
your
prob-
own space to.
yeah. And Kimmy could probably, if they wanted to give Kimmy the second place, they could probably have said, last lap, Kimmy, unleash, go catch George.
I don't
George
think
can
you
defend
give.
for
I
one
don't,
lap.
I don't
But,
think
like,
you give Kimmy the second place.
no, I
Gotta
mean,
earn
yeah. That's, if there was a race for George to lose his shit, I thought this would have been the one, but he actually kept it together. And thankfully there was the thankfully for him, there was the VSC that saved him, because I think Lewis was going to do whatever he could to get by, because Lewis had a chip on his shoulder from his scenario or situation with Ferrari and Charles.
Yeah.
And that
Well, in
one
this
was even worse, I would think.
this second third split now takes away the 3 points that George did gain on Kimi.
Yeah.
So now they're even on the weekend.
Yeah.
And brings George even with not able to get far enough ahead from Lewis. He's still
Yeah.
even now at 183 points.
Yeah. I mean, it's
George got a lot of reason to be pissed.
Yeah. He's got a lot. And like I said, I thought maybe he did some soul searching. I mean, he got engaged over the break, but he was he was a lot calmer
Yes.
than we have seen George. And maybe he got out of the car and lost his shit in the debrief with the team, but I thought he handled the situation a lot better than some people. I mean, Lewis was not handling his situation well.
No.
And that wasn't even I mean, it was a team call, but the team did ask Charles to box. The team did ask Charles to move over. Charles is losing his mind on his radio, saying, no, no, no. He ignores the call to go into box. And then Lewis is getting mad at the team. Like, they called him in. They did what you asked. Like, and then he's getting mad. I'm sure there was conversations in debrief as well.
I'm sure.
But yeah, and again, same thing with Piastri. I think at one point they had asked him to back up the Mercedes, and then they said, "We'll bring you in for a pit stop," and they bring him in, and it's the worst possible pit stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Him and he and George got screwed this weekend on pit stop. I think it was George.
yeah,
Yeah, it just was not a good weekend for them, and
No.
really ruined their whole race.
yeah, a lot of races. So,
Yeah.
but it was. I think the race
all right.
did give us a lot. It gave us a lot in the midfield. We saw teams fighting with their own teams. I think there was one at one point, I want to say it was George, Lando, and a Ferrari. Can't remember which one. And they were pretty close towards the end, maybe the last third of the race. I mean, it never looked like it was going to be like a photo finish, but in recent, we haven't seen cars that close. Where 1, 2, and 3 so close. I mean, there was always talk of rain coming and a little bit of this after. It never came.
Never happened. No.
But yeah, and Alonso getting some points, and Liam Lawson getting his first Red Bull points.
Yes. Well, just looking at the standings, apparently you're only as good as your last race, because now Red Bull has Max at 112, Hadjar at 68, and Liam Lawson as a Red Bull racing driver at 49. So
Interesting.
he's close. He's close to being the second highest Red Bull driver in terms of points. Yeah.
See, that raises something for me. Because it only really happens for a Red Bull team.
Yes.
You know, you get called up to race for Red Bull. Those should be like separate points.
Yeah, but then you're going to have him in
Twice.
two different twice.
Yeah. Yes.
It's interesting. That's interesting.
You only have, because
Well, clearly not. Has there been a driver swap in the middle of the season? I doubt that. But
yeah,
I'll have to look it up.
To that point,
But,
like it would just, it should be.
well, like I said, you're only as good as your last race. So
Yeah, because
you
like
are-
I think
he's
about
a Red Bull driver.
I think about totally. We talked about boxing at the beginning, but when Mayweather and McGregor fought, I think at that point McGregor hadn't lost any of his like UFC fights, and so his record really just became he's kept his UFC, but he just was 0-1 with boxing. He lost that. You know what I mean?
But
Like
you're looking at two different sports. You're looking at
But
two completely different sports.
It shouldn't work like that. Those
It
are your
shouldn't,
Red
but I
Bull
mean-
points. But this is what happens to Zach Brown's point. this is what happens when you can switch drivers from team to team.
Yeah, but I mean, it happens in every other sport. Like they don't just because you have like somebody gets traded in the middle of the season, like they go
You
to
lose all of your
Milwaukee to the
stats.
Lakers. You don't lose, or you don't have two categories of stats. All of a sudden, your All-Star season, or your if you had an MVP season, no, it doesn't count because you're
You
two
should.
different people now.
You should.
Your stats will not coincide here.
They will not align. That is how, that will be my dictatorship of the sports world if I ever take over.
Your dictatorship.
My
Okay,
dictatorship. You,
okay, they're F1 Ben.
yeah.
Where did Aston Martin get their other point? They have 3 points in the
I have
constructors.
no idea.
I don't remember this.
I did notice that, and I have no idea where that came
Oh,
from.
here it is. Monaco. They had 1 point in Monaco.
How?
Fernando Alonso finished 10th.
Okay.
We had
Did
also
everybody else
had
crash out? I don't remember Monaco.
we had 7 DNFs
Okay.
and no lapped cars of the 15.
Okay. How did he get to 10? Maybe
Well,
they were
below
just
him
like,
was
here you
below him
go.
was Perez, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Russell. I don't remember this one at all. Bortoleto, and then Alonso in 10th. How did Russell end up down there? He probably got screwed in a crash somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got messed up by a safety car. Had to be.
Yeah. Well, because Lando crashed out, Stroll crashed out, Leclerc's crashed out,
Yeah.
Verstappen crashed. That says this is actually Verstappen's second race this year with 0 laps completed because he crashed out on the first lap or did not start somehow in Monaco.
Interesting.
I don't remember that one at all.
That's interesting.
Anyways.
Well, I mean, we didn't really talk about who won this race, but Lando won.
Well, yeah, I said
Yeah.
when I said where they finished behind Lando. Yeah, so Lando won.
And then Kimmy did get second place, and
George in
George
third.
thankfully kept his third.
Saved by the skin of his nuts by the safety car.
Jesus. Yeah.
I could have
so
said
that
something
was,
worse.
You could have. So yeah, that was the Dutch Grand Prix, the last Dutch
I said
Grand
the
Prix
last Dutch Grand Prix.
for now.
Which, this is the other comment I want to make. I'm going to miss this one because they did a really good job, and they've done a really good job with the cameras and camera angles this year. This is the first year watching the Dutch Grand Prix where you actually feel and see the bank corner, the incline
Yeah.
of that bank corner, and you can actually tell the difference at what these drivers are well, not that we know what they're going through, but
Yeah.
you get a sense of what they're going through. So yeah, just good on
Camera.
F1's media positioning, whatever camera
Yeah.
angles.
Camera
They've done a
angle.
good job this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Next race is Monza. We need to keep Nico Rosberg away from taking a selfie with Kimi Antonelli, so maybe he could win his home race.
Or we
And-
test the theory.
I think it's been tested, tried and true.
Scientific method. We need more tests.
Yeah. But one thing to look out for in Monaco, Monza, keeping with Aston Martin, if Stroll does not make it out of Q1, he will be the only driver in history to have 100 Q1 exits.
Do I call it now? Can I bet on this?
I mean,
Can
it doesn't even have to be Monza. Any other Q1 exit that he has the rest of the season will put him at
I know. I
100.
I wonder what the betting line is for his Q2 appearance.
I mean, I would,
It's a losing bet, but
yeah. So, just something to look forward to next weekend,
look forward to.
or look out
What
for.
if he retired right now,
Look
just
out
so he
for.
doesn't have to?
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, just thought I'd throw that out there.
Terrible stat.
Yeah.
Okay.
100 Q1 exits. Anyways, fresh set, dirty air.
Uh,
I don't even know if I
fresh
have.
set, fresh set. I reset it. I'm going to talk about the camera angles. It's been great. Made it
Yeah.
enjoyable. I was
Yeah.
gonna pick Yuki, but I figured, you know what? Give credit to the people behind the scenes.
I was actually going to say Liam. So
There you go.
I just thought he had a shit time at Red Bull when he was the second driver. He didn't get a full season. Not that I'm a
Different team
huge
principal
Liam
now.
fan.
The
Yeah,
CEO.
not that
Yeah.
I'm a huge Liam fan, but um, I thought he showed well and he got some points and maybe redeemed a little bit of like, you know,
Yeah, and
the
it felt
stinging.
like he had a little more maturity to him this weekend.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, he was right behind Max when he crashed. For obviously first one on the radio, he saw it. So first one on the radio, is he okay? That was really bad. Yeah, and then he went on to continue the race as
yeah,
normal.
had a decent race.
So, um, yeah. Anyways, dirty air.
Dirty Air, I don't have to pick anything new. I said at the beginning, Stefano Domenicali, I think, is losing touch with the fan base as much as he's losing his hair. So, I don't need the stupidity. I don't need, like, there's already so much ridiculousness surrounding the sport and what's in the media and what gets said or some of the ideas that are put through. We don't need
More.
this kind of
Yeah.
these kind of comments to just devalue the integrity of the sport through its leadership.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, you gotta. These are the people that are paying to be there,
Yeah.
paying a lot of money, and you're calling them stupid.
Idiots. Yeah. Or wrong.
Yeah. My dirty air. I mean, I can go with Max. I don't think Max was necessarily going to win this race by any means. He was starting seventh, sixth,
Sixth.
but just sucks. Especially again,
Yeah.
it being the last Dutch Grand Prix. He was part of the reason that they even brought back the Dutch Grand Prix. It was a race that was not really a track that they weren't using. They hadn't been using for a long time. He brought it back, so it just really sucked. He got a special helmet made for this weekend.
Oh, it had its use today.
Yeah,
This
it did.
weekend, so.
It saved
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Did its job.
But yeah, just it would have been nice for him to finish. Again, I do not think he was going to win this race by any means.
No, not even close.
But just yeah, I think that's mine.
Okay. Well, that's it.
All right. Well, we will be back. Is Monza next week? I can't even
No.
remember. It is not.
Week off.
A week off.
Yep.
But yeah, we will be back next week anyways. Maybe.
Yes, we will. No, we will.
We will.
We will.
All right.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next time.
Grab a fresh set.
Bye.